And then a good example, that's someone new we got in, a good example of someone who's been there for a while that we kept in, Paul Ingretson.
Hi. Howdy. I feel like I'm at home here with so many familiar faces. I was informed that I had to, before I said anything else, let you know that my training came entirely from Robert J. Gaida, who was my coach, who ran with me, 6 years ago, I forget the first time. But, and I honor you, thank you very much for your help. Yeah, Bob. I want to tell you, Bob used to come over to my chair and say, "How are you voting? How are you voting?" Well, it wasn't a one-way street. Of course, sometimes he came in so bleary-eyed from flying that I guess he had reason not to have a clue what was happening. It wasn't quite that bad. In fact, Bob is easily the best stand-up politician I've ever seen. I mean, no matter what the situation was, something weird happening on the floor, something twisted, Bob was up there and had the wherewithal, first of all, the gumption to be there, but also the background, the information, just the intelligence related to the issue, to be able to carry forward. He single-handedly, I think, turned around more bills than I ever saw anybody else do, just in these last moments when things were getting a little funny. And so I commend you. Thank you very much, Bob, for all the help getting me there. Just talking to somebody a minute ago, I'm an artist, and I ran my first campaign. I ran as against two Diablos. One of them was a 4% Republican. And this was thanks to Paul Mirsky, by the way. I wish he was here, but Paul Mirsky really is the heart and soul of the turnaround. Lots of people work with it, and by the way, I don't want to hurt anybody else. There are definitely some other players out there. But Paul is the reason, in significant part, why we got roll calls. And once we got roll calls, we got scorecards. And once we got scorecards, we knew the Republicans in my town were Democrats. Yeah. So what a wonderful thing. And I keep telling Paul, I refer to him as the general. I mean, there's nobody else who actually has a better sense of the whole thing as regards to the state. He has no better sense of history. Right. You know, I wish he was here. But anyway, I forget what I was saying that for. So anyway, I know what it was. I'll get back to it. At any rate, I ran my first campaign with a bunch of old-fashioned signs, otherwise known as Burma shave signs. And one of my signs was improve the House's composition, elect an artist, not a politician. or if I could get the rhyme right, you elect someone who knows how to draw the line. I can't remember the rhyme. I'm an artist, not a poet, so I help with those things too.
You're doing all right.
Thank you. Probably one of the most important things I read in recent times was just a little quote from Patton. Somebody asked him, one of his men, when he was doing a debriefing of some sort, one of his, I think it was a major under him, he said, "So, what is patriotism?" And Patton said, "Well, that's loving your country, fighting for your country." And then he said, "Well, let me take that back. That's loving your Constitution and fighting for your Constitution." The reason I ran the first time was because my rep didn't know why we didn't want a constitutional convention. He didn't know. He actually believed that what we have today, the people in the political, leading political sway, were actually very, very differently inclined. And I don't care which party you're talking about, it was statist. It was about power away from the people and into the hands of the special interests and the people that we're suffering under today. The people that keep electing Republican and Democrat alike at the national level. So you want to talk, you got much more important people to listen to. But let me just say a couple things. I initially, some of my earlier bills that I ran, that I tried to promote, were an end to the drug war and drug prohibition. It's a fundamental freedom bill. Yeah. out of here?
No, good.
I can just stop cold if you want. When I found out that the United States has 4% of the world's population, but 24% of the world's prison population, I flipped out. Now, there are other reasons, just liberty reasons for not, but you know, the fact is, the people being killed by drugs are being killed by the pharmaceuticals. Hundreds of thousands a year in this country are being killed by the little drugs. We're worried about marijuana and hasn't killed anybody yet, according to the DEA. It just blows my mind. So I asked, and against the Democrats picked up my bill. There's one libertarian Democrat, Joel Winters, and I commend him for surviving over there. I don't know how he does it. But he's bringing back one of my bills. I simply am asking for a review, essentially an audit of the benefits for all the money we're spending, for all the money we lose. The other point that really blew my mind, though, in that context was that when I found that in 1800 we had 100 people in jail in this state. And in 1982 we had 200 people in jail. That's almost 200 years later. And I bet nobody in this room knows what the number is today. Well, I'll shut my mouth. It's over 2,700 people. I mean, it's just like that. It's insane. And it's all young people. It's all people with their lives being destroyed. Why? Because we created a prohibition war that makes drugs incredibly valuable. So people are going to go out there and try to make some bucks, the quick bucks. Well, sure, you're corrupting kids, you're corrupting police, all of it. Never mind, I'll stop that. But that's just one. There are many others. Now, this year, the two bills I'm promoting are to rewrite some of the homeschool bills so that parents are put back as the primary educator in the United States, because the Department of Education is writing rules that are creating law. And they have been, for the last several years, ever since the Democrats got in, and they think they have the opportunity, people in the department are trying to take over homeschooling. They're trying to control what we teach. Some of them want you to have to be certified to be able to even teach your kids.
Oh, Jesus.
They want you to teach state issues the state way. I mean, it's to be tested. By the way, the testing that's being done now, the 40 percentile, proficiency 40 percentile, the public schools are at 16%. The homeschoolers have to go at 40% just to survive. And they're being criticized for failing in some way. There must be somebody in the cracks and all that sort of stuff. So we're trying to turn that around. I'm talking too fast. What?
Pro-choice on education.
Pro-choice, absolutely, absolutely. I voted for it before, but it's the most fundamental thing. If you're gonna make education compulsory, you have to give the money to the people and let them go and get educated where they want to. Otherwise, anything else is bad. But the only point I really want to make, and he's going to throw me off here because I'm ruining everybody's night, but the biggest thing, don't encourage me. I'm worse than the trombones. We have discovered, we are one of the only states, maybe only one of two, I think we may be the only one that has it written in the Constitution that has redress of grievances. And I haven't, I was actually not particularly well last year, and I wasn't promoting bills, but when I saw the redress of grievance bill, I immediately asked Dan Itza to put me back on again. I was getting weary of being here. It was just a pointless exercise until I saw that. And anybody liberty-minded knows that you have a government that doesn't have to be responsible. You are going to have tyranny. You're going to have oppression. And what we've been seeing coming out of our courts in the course of one summer's worth of listening to people would blow your mind. And you're going to be seeing a lot of it. But we're planning to bill of address two marital masters and a judge. One of which you've heard about, Gardner and Sadler, both of whom are telling homeschooling Christians that their Christianity is too rigid and therefore their kids have to go to public school.
Yep.
But you get the picture. We're bringing bills of address against those two and on many other situations. Thank you very much. I'll end abruptly. It's all about liberty. Nothing to do with running a good state or anything like that. It's all about liberty.
Yeah.
Well, that's what tonight's all about, is these guys like Jen and Paul. And they're not alone either. We got 23 good people elected. I won't say that they're all as perfect as Paul and Jen, but they're very, very good. And we've got some other great people we got elected, and we want to double that number this next year.